Joe Pyfer is an absolute animal. After Joe Pyfer's incredible performance over Israel Adesanya at the recent fight night, we now know Joe Pyfer is championship material. There were many people who assumed that Joe Pyfer was a hype train, and when he finally started to face high-ranking opponents, he would struggle against them. But he just dominated who is arguably the greatest middleweight champion of all time, Israel Adesanya. We all knew Joe Pyfer had good striking and incredible power in his hands, and that was on full display in his fight against Israel Adesanya. But something else that we got to see was Joe Pyfer's grappling, in that he can actually, well, grapple. He was able to take down and dominate Israel Adesanya on the ground, who again is the former champion and currently ranked 4th in the division. Some people will say Israel's a striker, but you have to understand, the dude is still a champion and has championship level takedown defense. But Joe Pyfer was able to get past that defense. Now, the middleweight division is absolutely stacked, and when we just take a look at the rankings, you see the champion Khamzat Chimaev, you see the number 1 ranked Dricus du Plessis, you see Nasruddin Imavov, you see Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Kyle Brahayo, Brendan Allen, and the list goes on. Now, at the current moment in time, Khamzat and Strickland, I believe, are fighting each other on May 9th at UFC 328, but the other people at the top, like Dricus du Plessis, who's lost recently, and Kyle Brahayo, might be a perfect fight for Joe Pyfer, or even somebody like Brendan Allen. Now, Joe Pyfer clearly has a lot of hype behind him. Somebody who was ranked 14, which was Joe Pyfer, just fought the number 4 ranked Israel Adesanya. And you don't do that unless you're a favorite of the UFC. And I have no doubt that Joe Pyfer's next fight is going to be against a very high-ranking person. Another top contender in maybe the top 5. And I would say if he gets one more win, he might even get a title shot. Now, keep in mind, the people at the top, like Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis, are in a league of their own, and I would be really excited to see what Joe Pyfer could do against them. We know now he's a well-rounded fighter, but can he beat the guys currently at the top of the division is the question. But what do you guys think? Someone else I want to talk about is Alexa Grasso. She put away Macy Barber in one of the nastiest ways I've ever seen anyone put away in my entire time watching the UFC. Now, keep in mind, it was very clear Macy Barber was on a fast track for a UFC title. And in my opinion, with that knockout over Macy Barber, I think Alexa Grasso has stolen that title shot away from her. And I definitely think Alexa Grasso might be next in line for a title shot against the current champion, Valentina Shevchenko. But maybe after Natalia Silva, because I know she just fought Rose Namajunas, and she's currently the number 1 ranked contender. So if anybody deserves a title shot, it should be her. But after that, I definitely think Alexa Grasso should be in talks for a title shot. Now, we could all agree that the last time Alexa Grasso and Valentina stepped in the cage together, it didn't necessarily go Alexa Grasso's way. But Alexa looked different against Macy. She looked sharp and different than ever before. And if she gets put up against Valentina again, I think it could be a completely different fight, and I definitely think Alexa Grasso has a chance. And I think we could see something great in that fight. Another person I wanted to talk about was Lohihan Douglas. This man is an absolute monster, and he had a phenomenal performance over Julian Erosa at Fight Night Adesanya vs. Pyfer. This man has absolute dynamite in his hands. He was hitting Julian Erosa with jabs, and Julian was folding. He also knocked out the dude in the Contender Series who he fought. He literally sits down and swings and knocks people out. Now, Douglas fights in a very stacked division as well, with fighters like Alexander Volkanovski, Movsar Evloev, Diego Lopez, Leon Murphy, just to name a few. And the other ranks, 4 through 14, are absolute beasts themselves. And there is no easy opponent on that list. But if he keeps putting people away in the fashion that he's putting people away in, I have no doubt he's going to climb the ranks very quickly and probably be fast-tracked for a title shot. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is a thank you to Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa had his final fight against Nico Price. Now, Chiesa on The Ultimate Fighter was a little bit before I started watching the UFC. I only started watching about 10 years ago. But in that time, I have fallen in love with Chiesa as a commentator and as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. And I will definitely remember a couple of his fights. And it sucks to see a fighter I have so much respect for finally retire. A quick thank you to Michael Chiesa. Thank you for giving everything to the game. Thank you for all your fights. Thank you for all your hard work. You are the real deal. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this one. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help the channel grow, and I will see you back here in the next one. Peace out and have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.